The real issue behind your poor diabetes health might not be your diet or medication. It could be missing vitamins. The specific ones control how your body burns sugar, repairs nerves, and protects your organs. Did you know that up to 80% of diabetics are silently deficient, and most never find out until damage is already done? Some of the best vitamins don't just support health, they're metabolic keys. Without them, you will surely struggle with blood sugar, insulin sensitivity and resistances, morning high sugar, post-meal spikes, and many other things. In this video, you'll discover the top 3 vitamins every diabetic must consider to improve overall diabetes health. Let's begin with number 1. 1. Vitamin B1. For over 75% of diabetics, the real problem isn't the sugar itself. It's what the sugar is quietly stealing every day. I'm talking about thiamine, also known as vitamin B1. And what most people don't know is that thiamine is the first nutrient your body loses when blood sugar stays high. It's not because you're not eating it. It's because your kidneys push it out, quietly, consistently, and faster than your body can replace it. Thiamine is what your cells use to burn glucose properly. Without it, the sugar in your blood can't turn into clean energy. Instead, it turns into lactate, which builds up in your muscles and nerves and makes you feel tired, heavy, and foggy. This is one reason why so many diabetics feel exhausted even after rest, and why nerve symptoms seem to worsen even when your medications are doing their job. If your hands tingle, your feet feel numb, or your balance feels off, this isn't just neuropathy. This is your body screaming for B1. I've seen this over and over again. Blood sugar looks stable, but the damage continues. That's because high glucose acts like a thief. It doesn't just raise inflammation, it robs you of the very nutrients that help you fight it. B1 is needed to activate an enzyme called pyruvate dehydrogenase, which is critical for converting carbohydrates into usable energy. If that enzyme doesn't work, sugar sits in your cells like poison, and instead of energy, your body produces more waste, more acid, and more inflammation. This is exactly why so many diabetics have high lactate, poor circulation, nerve pain, and chronic fatigue, even when they're eating right and taking their meds. What's worse is that most blood tests don't check for functional thiamine levels. You could be deficient for years without ever being told. And while it might start as mild fatigue or numbness, if ignored, it can lead to irreversible nerve damage. So how do you fix it? The key is to restore what's lost, faster than your body is wasting it. That means getting active, absorbable forms of thiamine like benfotiamine or lithiamine. For benfotiamine, the ideal dose for diabetics is 150 to 300 milligrams daily, depending on how severe the symptoms are. Lithiamine is more potent, so a typical dose ranges from 50 to 100 milligrams daily. These should be taken once or twice a day. If your symptoms are mild, once daily may be enough, but if you're dealing with long-term fatigue, numbness, or burning in the feet, twice daily works better for most people. It's best to take them with food, ideally with breakfast or lunch, because both forms are fat-soluble and need dietary fat for proper absorption. Taking them on an empty stomach may reduce their effectiveness and could cause mild nausea in some cases. The form you choose matters more than most people realize. Standard thiamine, often listed as thiamine hydrochloride, is water-soluble and easily lost through urine, especially in diabetics. That's why you need a fat-soluble form like benfotiamine or lithiamine, which are absorbed more deeply into tissues, including nerves and blood vessels. Benfotiamine is stable, well-tolerated, and stays active in the bloodstream longer. Lithiamine, derived from garlic compounds, crosses cell membranes more easily and can enter the nervous system faster, making it ideal for nerve repair and diabetic neuropathy. To get the full effect, it's smart to pair thiamine with other nutrients that support nerve and glucose metabolism. Alpha-lipoic acid, at a dose of 300 to 600 milligrams daily, works well alongside thiamine because it lowers oxidative stress and supports mitochondrial repair. Magnesium, between 200 and 400 milligrams daily, helps activate thiamine-dependent enzymes and reduces nerve-related cramping or twitching. A balanced B complex can also be helpful, especially to prevent imbalances, since taking high doses of one B vitamin can sometimes deplete others over time. Thiamine works best when your other B vitamins, like B2, B3, B6, and B12, are also in range. Fat in the meal is critical. Something as simple as eggs with olive oil, avocado toast, or nuts with yogurt can improve how well benfotiamine or alethiamine enters your cells. When taken consistently, this kind of nutrient support helps restore nerve energy, reduce lactic acid buildup, and slow down the process of advanced glycation that damages nerve tissue in diabetics. High glucose drains thiamine from your system every day. If you don't replace it with the right form, in the right dose, at the right time, the symptoms continue, even if your blood sugar looks good on paper. But once you restore thiamine properly, most people feel the change. The fog begins to lift, the nerves stop stinging, and your body finally starts using glucose the way it was meant to, without pain, without loss, and without silent damage growing in the background. If this hits home, stop scrolling. Smash that like, send this to someone still confused, and subscribe right now. Because your doctor might have forgotten, but we don't. And we will help you make informed choices so that you can be with your family longer than you think. With this, let's move on to number 2. 2. Vitamin B6. A key sign is a sore, smooth, or swollen tongue that burns with spicy food. If you have nerve pain or slow healing, B6 might be missing. Another sign is tingling or burning in your hands and feet, even when sugar levels are stable. Cracks at the corners of your mouth that don't heal well are also common. This is called colitis. Low B6 often causes mood swings, anxiety, or brain fog even with normal sleep. You might also feel muscle cramps or twitching. Frequent bruises, mouth ulcers, or bleeding gums are signs that your immune repair is slowing down. These aren't vague symptoms. They're early warnings. If ignored, they can lead to nerve breakdown and poor recovery after illness or injury. Now let's talk about why this deficiency occurs. Diabetics lose vitamin B6 faster than normal due to high blood sugar and chronic inflammation. When sugar stays high, the kidneys flush out more B6 through urine. This constant loss leads to gradual depletion, even if the diet looks balanced. Inflammation also damages the enzymes that convert B6 into its active form. That form is called pyridoxal 5-phosphate, and diabetics often can't make enough of it. Some medications like metformin, hydralazine, or isoniazid block B6 absorption or speed up its breakdown. Alcohol use makes the problem worse by interfering with liver function and nutrient storage. Kidney problems in diabetics also reduce the ability to retain and recycle B6. Even stress matters. Long-term emotional or physical stress burns through B vitamins quickly, including B6. Poor gut health from diabetes or other issues can lower B6 absorption. Diets low in animal protein, seeds, or leafy greens may not give enough raw B6 to begin with. Overcooked food also reduces available B6 content. Diabetics with poor appetite, weight loss, or nausea may be missing key intake altogether. These combined problems silently drain the body of B6, which leads to symptoms later. Correction only happens when the root causes are understood and reversed. To overcome B6 deficiency, start with foods rich in natural B6 that your body can absorb easily. Eat sunflower seeds regularly. They're high in B6 and gentle on digestion. Add turkey breast to your meals for a lean protein source full of usable B6. Include beef liver once or twice a week in small portions. Snack on chickpeas or add them to salads and soups. Wild salmon gives both B6 and healthy fats that help reduce inflammation. Avoid overcooking your food. Heat destroys vitamin B6 quickly. Steam or lightly saute instead of frying or boiling. Eat more green vegetables like spinach and collard greens with olive oil to support absorption. Keep meals balanced with protein, fiber, and fat to help regulate sugar. Don't skip meals, especially breakfast, to avoid stress-driven nutrient loss. Drink enough water to help your kidneys process nutrients effectively. Cut back on alcohol since it blocks B6 use in the liver. If you take medications that drain B6, ask your doctor about food adjustments. Manage stress daily with deep breathing or quiet walks. Sleep 7 to 8 hours every night to reduce inflammation and protect nutrient levels. Make these habits consistent. Healing depends on what you do every day. Diabetics should use the active form called pyridoxal 5-phosphate, not regular B6. It absorbs better and works faster inside diabetic cells. Start with 25 to 50 milligrams daily. If symptoms are strong, increase slowly up to 100 milligrams in divided doses. Take it with breakfast for better absorption and stability. If nerve pain or sleep is a problem, split the dose morning and evening. Always pair it with magnesium, around 200 to 400 milligrams daily. Magnesium helps activate B6 inside your tissues. Choose magnesium glycinate or citrate for better digestion and effect. Take both with food to avoid nausea and improve uptake. Do not take B6 on an empty stomach. It may cause mild discomfort. Avoid taking it late at night unless it's helping sleep. Do not mix it with alcohol or high-sugar snacks. They block absorption. Look for clean formulas without artificial colors or fillers. A capsule is better than a tablet for faster breakdown. Take consistently for at least 4 weeks before expecting results. Track improvements in nerve pain, mood, and healing speed. If you're on medications, talk to your doctor before adding supplements. This helps avoid interactions and makes sure your plan stays safe. Keep your diet steady while using supplements to support natural repair. 3. Vitamin B2. Are struggling with fatigue, brain fog, or stubborn belly fat, even when your sugar looks stable. It's not a new drug and it's not a magic diet. It's riboflavin, also called vitamin B2. This silent driver powers the entire fat-burning machinery inside your cells. And without it, your energy production slows down, your liver gets sluggish, and your insulin resistance quietly gets worse. That's not just theory, that's cellular biochemistry. And this is where it all begins. Riboflavin is the coenzyme that activates fat oxidation. It turns fatty acids into ATP, the fuel your cells need to function. Without enough B2, fats don't get burned, they get stored. This leads to more fat around your liver, more visceral belly fat, and slower recovery after meals. You might feel heavy, sluggish, or mentally flat after eating. That's not laziness, that's your mitochondria starving. Riboflavin is also essential to convert B6 and B3 into their active forms, which means if your B2 is low, your entire B-complex network fails silently in the background. Every step in fat metabolism, transport, breakdown, conversion, depends on this vitamin. And most diabetics are burning through it faster than they can replenish. The real problem is this. High blood sugar increases oxidative stress, and oxidative stress drains riboflavin like a leaking tank. Add in kidney stress, metformin use, or poor appetite, and your levels start to collapse. Diabetics with early kidney disease lose riboflavin through urine. Alcohol, chronic inflammation, and infections make the body pull from riboflavin stores to defend tissues. If you're taking antidepressants or beta blockers, you could also be lowering B2 absorption without realizing it. Over time, your metabolism slows, your body gets inflamed, and fat burning grinds to a halt. So how do you know it's happening? Look for red, burning eyes that are sensitive to light. That's one of the earliest signs of B2 deficiency. If your lips are cracked at the edges or peeling for no reason, that's another clue. A swollen tongue with a magenta hue or dry throat that feels sore even without infection is common in low B2 states. If your skin gets flaky or oily between the nose and eyebrows, that could be a riboflavin-linked seborrheic rash. More importantly, if your body is storing fat instead of using it, your energy crashes after carbs, or you're waking up exhausted despite 8 hours of sleep, your mitochondria might be stalling due to low B2. It's not about calories, it's about cell chemistry. To fix this, you need the right form, right dose, and right pairing. Diabetics should use riboflavin 5-phosphate, the active form that bypasses the liver and enters cells directly. Many diabetics have poor liver activation due to inflammation or liver fat. That means regular B2 might not work fast enough. The typical dose for therapeutic support is 25 to 50 milligrams per day. If fatigue or metabolic stress is severe, 100 milligrams may be used under doctor guidance. Always take it with food, ideally at breakfast or lunch when your body's energy demand is highest. Avoid taking it late in the day. It's energizing and may disturb sleep in sensitive people. Pair it with other mitochondrial nutrients like magnesium and coenzyme Q10. Magnesium helps activate enzymes that work with riboflavin inside the mitochondria. CoQ10 improves the energy output of the same pathways that B2 supports. Also consider pairing with B6 and B3, as riboflavin helps convert both to their usable forms. If you're taking B6 or niacin and not feeling the expected benefits, riboflavin might be the missing link holding them back. This is where synergy matters. Food still matters more than supplements in the long run. The best natural sources of B2 include beef liver, eggs, plain Greek yogurt, almonds, wild-caught salmon, and spinach. One cooked slice of liver can provide over 100% of your daily riboflavin. A cup of yogurt gives about 30 to 40%. A handful of almonds or an egg gives you a small boost. Eat these regularly, not occasionally, if you want to rebuild your levels naturally. Keep meals balanced with protein, fiber, and fat to support nutrient uptake. If you're vegetarian, focus on mushrooms, oats, and fortified nutritional yeast. But these don't match the bioavailability of animal sources. If you cook your food too much, you might be losing up to 50% of B2 content. Riboflavin is destroyed by light and heat. Store your food properly and avoid overboiling. Eat fresh where possible and keep portions moderate. Drink enough water to support kidney function and detox. Cut back on alcohol and processed sugar, both of which deplete riboflavin reserves and increase tissue stress. Track changes in energy, skin, eye sensitivity, and sleep rhythm. Notice if your metabolism starts feeling more stable and if your sugar spikes flatten after meals. If your A1C has stalled even with diet control, correcting a riboflavin deficiency may be what resets the curve. This is how fat metabolism works, from the cellular level up. And riboflavin is the ignition key. Without it, your cells idle. With it, your body starts burning cleaner and moving better. In diabetics, nothing is random. When your metabolism starts slowing, it's not age, it's a sign. When your fat burns slower, your mood drops, and your mornings feel heavy, you don't need more sugar. You need better metabolism. And for that, riboflavin is non-negotiable. Fix it early, support it daily, and your entire system will begin to shift. Healing doesn't just happen with pills or perfect lab numbers. It happens when the missing pieces are finally put back in place. These three vitamins aren't just nutrients. They're the switches that turn your system back on. So if you're tired of living at half capacity, don't ignore what your body's really asking for. Fix the foundation. Rebuild what diabetes has drained. And if this gives you clarity, share it with someone who's still struggling with blood sugar. Like, comment, and subscribe. Because this diabetes health channel is where real recovery begins.